Hi everyone. For workshop 4, I decided to choose an article entitled Language Use Contributes to Expressive Language Growth, Evidence from Bilingual Children. To be completely honest, I felt like all of my articles really did not have strong literature reviews. So in retrospect, or probably even now, I'm actually thinking about going back and taking out 2 or 3 of my articles and finding something more concrete, more articles that have really strong literature reviews. But out of the ones that I had, I felt as if this one is moving in the right direction, and I learned some hints, and I took some hints from it that I think are applicable as I write my first draft for the miniature literature review. So to start off, I'm just going to highlight some of the attributes and elements of good writing that I noticed, and I would love your feedback and or suggestions on where I should go with articles, as I'm literally going to have to go back and look at my articles again and probably find ones that are more succinct and have a stronger literature review. But to begin with, I liked how the author in this short abstract, before we get to the literature review, really discussed how the findings, how really delineated the problem, to be honest, and transparent. And then over here in the first paragraph, the author moved from really more broad generalizations about the topic at hand to more specific, as they discussed current theories of first language acquisitions and children's productions. Over here on the right-hand side, the author decides to move into the thesis and continues with the thesis. I'm also noticing, though, that the author, wrong page for you, that the author on the second page uses lots of transitional words, or some transitional words, not really all that many, but use transitional words as they describe the literature. I don't see many quotations per se, but I do see parenthetical citations, which is important. I'm going to try to avoid narrative citations and move more towards parenthetical citations as I write my own literature review. But I do like how this author went from very broad and generic introduction of the topic to more specific towards the end, towards the beginning of the literature review. One thing that I didn't like about this, though, is the fact that there weren't headings. And that really irritated me because I got lost at first. I really had to read the paragraphs to know where and how the author was transitioning. So that was slightly frustrating, but certainly it's a learning curve for me, and I can learn from that. But as far as the remainder of this article is concerned, I like the fact that it has clear findings, and I can relate it back to the very beginning, where it talks about, like I said, the problem itself, the thesis, and just identifying the problem and moving into the specifics of the actual study, which actually this study is a follow-up study of a previous study. So that was also an interesting point. Thank you so much for listening.